The moment Sarah set foot in her new apartment, an imposing Victorian mansion nestled at the edge of a dense forest, a chill ran down her spine. The grandeur of the architecture was eclipsed by an unsettling aura that seemed to cling to the walls. Brushing off her unease, she unpacked her belongings, eager to start afresh in this mysterious abode. The first signs of the supernatural manifested subtly. Faint whispers echoed in the hallways, and shadows flickered even in the brightest of rooms. Sarah, an avid believer in the paranormal, felt a peculiar energy in the air, as if the mansion held secrets waiting to be unveiled. As days turned into weeks, the phenomena escalated. Objects moved on their own, and strange symbols appeared on the walls overnight. At times, Sarah glimpsed fleeting figures in antique mirrors, faces twisted in anguish. The mansion seemed to come alive with a haunted history that yearned to be acknowledged. Determined to understand the source of the haunting, Sarah delved into the mansion's archives, discovering a dark tale that had been buried in time. Decades ago, the mansion was home to a reclusive artist named Edgar Blackwood. Legend had it that he had delved into forbidden arts, creating a series of cursed paintings that supposedly imprisoned the souls of those depicted. Undeterred by the ominous legend, Sarah resolved to uncover the truth. She reached out to local historians, connecting with an elderly scholar who held the key to the mansion's past. Together, they uncovered a hidden chamber in the mansion, a secret studio where Edgar Blackwood had conducted his occult experiments. The room, untouched by time, housed eerie paintings that seemed to pulsate with an otherworldly energy. Each canvas depicted a tormented soul, their eyes following Sarah's every move. It became evident that the cursed paintings held the key to the haunting that plagued the mansion. Sarah enlisted the help of a paranormal investigator and an art restoration expert. As they examined the paintings, the atmosphere in the mansion grew increasingly tense. Unearthly whispers filled the air, and the paintings seemed to shift when nobody was looking. The team devised a plan to break the curse. Sarah, armed with ancient rituals she had discovered in her research, embarked on a journey to free the trapped souls. As she conducted the rites, the mansion trembled, and the air thickened with a sense of impending liberation. In a climactic moment, the cursed paintings erupted in spectral flames, releasing the tormented souls. The mansion reverberated with ethereal energy as the liberated spirits ascended, leaving behind a newfound serenity. The once haunted halls now echoed with a quiet peace that had long been absent. As Sarah closed the chapter on the mansion's haunting, she couldn't help but feel a profound connection to the souls she had freed. The Victorian mansion, once a vessel of sorrow, had transformed into a haven of tranquility. In the end, Sarah wondered if the spirits, now at rest, had found solace or if their echoes lingered in the corridors, whispering gratitude to the one who dared to unravel the mysteries of the past. Story 2. As Jessica unpacked in her new apartment, a quaint cottage on the outskirts of a small, secluded town, she felt a sense of tranquility. Surrounded by lush woods, the cottage exuded charm with its rustic architecture and a sunlit garden. Little did Jessica know, the idyllic setting concealed a history shrouded in mystery. The first peculiar occurrence happened on a stormy night. Jessica, curled up by the fireplace, heard a soft, melodic hum weaving through the howling wind. Intrigued, she followed the haunting tune to an old bookshelf in the corner. To her surprise, a weathered journal lay hidden among the books, its pages filled with cryptic symbols and faded drawings. As days passed, Jessica's nights were filled with strange sounds, footsteps echoing in the empty halls and the distant murmur of a woman singing. The melody seemed to resonate with the journal's mysterious symbols. Determined to unravel the cottage's enigma, Jessica started translating the symbols, slowly piecing together the tale of a woman named Eliza. Eliza, it seemed, had lived in the cottage decades ago, shunned by the townsfolk for her alleged involvement in dark rituals. The journal hinted at a forbidden love and a tragic end. As Jessica immersed herself in Eliza's story, the haunting sounds intensified, and strange occurrences became a daily ordeal. Driven by a mix of curiosity and empathy, Jessica sought guidance from the town's oldest resident, an elderly woman named Agnes. Hesitant at first, Agnes revealed that Eliza's spirit was said to wander the cottage, forever bound by a love unfulfilled and a wrongful accusation. Agnes urged Jessica to help Eliza find peace and break the curse that plagued the cottage. Armed with newfound purpose, Jessica delved into the town's archives, uncovering forgotten details and long-buried secrets. She enlisted the help of a local historian to verify the authenticity of Eliza's story and a paranormal expert to communicate with the lingering spirit. As the paranormal investigation unfolded, Jessica and the team conducted séances and rituals to connect with Eliza's spirit. The cottage became a nexus of ethereal energy, with furniture rearranging itself and shadows dancing in the flickering candlelight. Through mediums, Eliza's voice conveyed her tale of love, betrayal, and a tragic end. In a climactic séance, Jessica confronted the lingering energy in the cottage. The air thickened as Eliza's spirit materialized, her sorrowful eyes meeting Jessica's. Guided by a sense of compassion, Jessica reassured Eliza that her story would be told, and the truth would set her free. As the words hung in the air, a gentle breeze swept through the cottage, carrying with it a bittersweet melody. The haunting sounds ceased, and the atmosphere lightened. Eliza's spirit, finally at peace, faded away, leaving Jessica alone in the silent cottage. With the curse lifted, Jessica decided to turn Eliza's story into a book, ensuring that the tragic tale would not be forgotten. As she closed the door of the cottage for the last time, Jessica couldn't help but feel a sense of gratitude for the bond she had formed with a spirit from the past, a connection that transcended the boundaries between the living and the death. Story 3. Danielle's excitement was palpable as she moved into her new apartment, a modern high-rise in the heart of the city. The sleek design and panoramic views promised a luxurious urban lifestyle. Little did she know that the vibrant cityscape would soon be overshadowed by a haunting presence that lurked within the confines of her seemingly perfect abode. The first sign of trouble came when Danielle started having vivid, unsettling dreams. She would find herself wandering through dimly lit corridors within her own apartment, the walls closing in on her. Faces of shadowy figures watched her from the corners, their eyes filled with silent despair. Soon, the nightmares spilled into reality. Danielle would wake up in the dead of night, disoriented and chilled to the bone. Strange noises echoed through the apartment, soft whispers that seemed to carry tales of long-forgotten sorrow. Unexplained cold spots followed her from room to room, a tangible manifestation of an unseen presence. Determined to uncover the truth, Danielle delved into the history of the high-rise. As she dug deeper, she discovered that the building had once been a hospital, a place that witnessed countless lives beginning and ending. Rumors circulated about a tragic incident involving a nurse who lost a patient due to a series of unfortunate events, and it was said that her spirit still roamed the corridors, searching for closure. Undeterred by the chilling revelations, Danielle reached out to a paranormal investigator. Together, they conducted séances and used electronic voice phenomena devices to communicate with the other side. The nurse's spirit, it seemed, had a message that needed to be heard. As the séances progressed, Danielle became a conduit for the nurse's emotions. She felt the weight of guilt and sorrow as if it were her own. The paranormal investigator urged her to help the spirit find peace by uncovering the truth behind the tragic incident. As Danielle dug into old hospital records and interviewed former staff, a heartbreaking story unfolded. The nurse, burdened by the guilt of a mistake that wasn't truly hers, had carried her pain into the afterlife. Armed with this newfound knowledge, Danielle prepared for a final, cathartic séance. The atmosphere in the apartment grew heavy as the séance commenced. Danielle, guided by the investigator, channeled the nurse's spirit. In that ethereal moment, forgiveness and understanding flowed between the two realms. The nurse's anguished presence dissipated, leaving behind a profound sense of peace. With the haunting finally lifted, Danielle looked out over the city from her apartment's panoramic windows. The once menacing shadows had given way to the warm glow of city lights. As she reflected on the harrowing journey, Danielle couldn't help but wonder if other high-rises concealed similar tales of lingering spirits, waiting for someone to listen and bring them the closure they so desperately sought. Story 4. Emily eagerly signed the lease for her new apartment, an old Victorian building with a mysterious charm. The rent was surprisingly low for such a spacious place, but she dismissed it as luck. Little did she know, she was about to step into a nightmare. On her first night, Emily heard soft music echoing through the halls, as if from a bygone era. Assuming it was a neighbor's radio, she brushed it off. But as the days passed, the music persisted, growing louder and more haunting. It seemed to come from the walls themselves, a ghostly melody that filled her nights with an eerie ambience. Soon, Emily began noticing peculiar markings on the walls, strange symbols etched in faded paint. Researching the building's history revealed a dark secret. The apartment had once been home to a reclusive artist who dabbled in occult practices. The symbols matched those associated with a forbidden ritual that was rumored to open a gateway to the spirit world. As the weeks went by, the apartment revealed more of its secrets. Emily would wake up to find furniture rearranged and items missing, only to reappear in unexpected places. Disturbing whispers echoed in her ears, and shadows danced menacingly in the corners. Determined to unravel the mystery, Emily enlisted the help of a paranormal investigator. Together, they delved into the building's past, uncovering a tale of tragedy and unfulfilled desires. The restless spirit of the artist, it seemed, was still lingering in the apartment, trapped between worlds. The investigator warned Emily of the dangers ahead and recommended a séance to communicate with the spirit. Reluctantly, she agreed. As the séance commenced, the temperature in the room plummeted, and the air grew heavy. A ghostly figure materialized before them, the tormented artist seeking solace. Desperation filled the spirit's voice as it relayed a tale of lost love and unfinished business. Emily, empathetic to its plight, vowed to help. The investigator guided her through a series of rituals intended to provide closure, but with each attempt, the malevolent energy in the apartment intensified. Nightmares plagued Emily's sleep, and the once charming Victorian now felt like a prison. Determined to break the curse, she sought out an ancient grimoire rumored to hold the key to banishing spirits. The rituals grew more complex, the stakes higher. One stormy night, as Emily conducted the final ritual, the apartment convulsed with spectral energy. The air crackled, and the ghostly figure of the artist screamed in agony. The building seemed to shake with the weight of its troubled history. As the ritual concluded, silence descended upon the apartment. Emily, exhausted and drained, felt a sense of peace settle in. The haunting had ceased, and the once troubled spirit had found release. Yet, as Emily packed her belongings to leave, she couldn't shake the feeling that the apartment's walls held more secrets. Perhaps the artist's spirit had found peace, but the echoes of its torment lingered in the shadows, a warning to those who dared to call the old Victorian home. Story 5. The new apartment seemed perfect at first, a cozy space with charming features and a picturesque view of the city. Sarah, eager to start a new chapter in her life, moved in with enthusiasm. Little did she know, the charming facade of her new home hid a dark secret. The first night, Sarah heard strange creaks and whispers that echoed through the empty halls. She dismissed it as typical settling noises, but as days passed, the unsettling occurrences escalated. Objects moved on their own, and shadows danced in the corners of her vision. One evening, Sarah invited friends over for a housewarming party. As they laughed and chatted in the living room, the lights flickered, and a bone-chilling breeze swept through the room. The atmosphere grew tense, and the once lively gathering became hushed. Curiosity got the best of Sarah, prompting her to investigate the apartment's history. To her horror, she discovered that the building had a dark past. Years ago, it was the site of a series of mysterious disappearances and unexplained deaths. The previous tenants had reported paranormal activities, prompting some to leave abruptly. Determined to confront the supernatural, Sarah delved into the occult, seeking advice from mediums and paranormal investigators. They warned her that the apartment was a conduit to the spirit world, and a malevolent force lingered within. Night after night, Sarah experienced increasingly intense encounters with the otherworldly. Whispers turned into guttural growls, and shadows manifested into ghastly figures. Desperate for relief, she performed rituals to cleanse the space, but the malevolent force seemed to feed on her fear, growing stronger with each attempt. Sleep-deprived and on the verge of madness, Sarah reached out to a seasoned exorcist. As he conducted a ritual to banish the entity, the apartment shook with unearthly rage. The walls seemed to bleed, and unearthly screams echoed through the halls. Finally, as the exorcism reached its climax, the oppressive presence lifted. The apartment fell into an eerie silence, and Sarah felt an overwhelming sense of relief. The exorcist warned her that the malevolent force might return, urging her to leave the haunted abode. Sarah, scarred by the traumatic experience, packed her bags and left the apartment behind. As she turned the key one last time, she couldn't shake the feeling that the malevolent force watched her from the shadows, waiting for another unsuspecting tenant to move in and continue the haunting legacy. Story 6. Madison's excitement was palpable as she moved into her new apartment in the heart of the city. The building, a historic brownstone with intricate architectural details, exuded charm and character. Little did Madison know that her dream home held a long-buried secret that would soon unravel with a series of chilling events. The first night in her new apartment was uneventful, but as the days passed, Madison began to notice peculiar occurrences. The air seemed to carry a heavy weight, and strange shadows danced along the walls when the sun dipped below the horizon. Unexplained drafts swept through the rooms, causing doors to creak open and shut on their own. Determined to dismiss the unease as mere imagination, Madison continued her daily routine. However, the apartment had more sinister plans for her. One evening, as she was reading in the dim glow of a lamp, the lights flickered, and the temperature in the room dropped dramatically. Madison felt an unseen presence, and a voice whispered her name, sending shivers down her spine. Haunted by these unsettling experiences, Madison delved into the building's history. To her surprise, she discovered that the brownstone had once been a boarding house in the late 19th century. Tragedy had struck when a fire claimed the lives of several tenants, leaving a lingering sorrow that seemed to seep into the very foundation of the building. Determined to uncover the truth and bring peace to the restless spirits, Madison sought the help of a medium and a historian specializing in paranormal investigations. Together, they conducted séances and delved into archives to connect with the souls trapped within the walls of the brownstone. As the séances unfolded, Madison became a conduit for the spirit stories. The medium channeled voices from the past, each spirit sharing tales of unfulfilled dreams, lost loves, and untimely deaths. The historian unearthed forgotten records, confirming the tragic history of the boarding house and the souls who had met untimely ends. Driven by empathy and a sense of responsibility, Madison decided to help the spirits find closure. Guided by the medium's instructions, she undertook a series of rituals to cleanse the space and offer peace to the lingering souls. However, the more Madison delved into the spiritual realm, the stronger the supernatural occurrences became. One fateful night, as Madison conducted a particularly intense ritual, the apartment seemed to come alive with ethereal energy. The spirits, no longer tormented, surrounded her in a gentle embrace. The atmosphere shifted from foreboding to serene, and Madison felt a profound sense of gratitude and release. With the paranormal activity finally subsided, Madison stood in the quiet apartment, realizing that she had played a pivotal role in bringing peace to the long-suffering spirits. As she gazed out of the window into the city lights, she couldn't help but feel a connection to the past, wondering if the building's storied history would now be etched with a chapter of resolution and tranquility.